Hey everybody, this is Mr. US History. Welcome back to a brand new video. So, I made a video a few days ago about my 2024 election prediction, and that video was clearly a joke, and if you didn't understand that that was a joke, which some of you did, I don't know what to say, but yeah, that video was clearly a joke. So this is my actual video where I'm going to do a 2024 election prediction. So this one is actually serious, it's not a joke. So, let's start with the safe blue states, which Kamala Harris is certainly going to win in the 2024 election. She's going to win them. She has like over a 90% chance of winning these states. This is the entire West Coast. When I said California and Oregon was going red, that wasn't true. Like that whole video was a joke. Colorado is also going to go blue. New York is going to go blue. Vermont's going to go blue. Almost all of the East Coast is going to go blue. The Northeast, in particular, Maine's first congressional district, as well as the state of Illinois. So those are the safe blue states, along with Hawaii and Washington, D.C. So now for the safe red states, these are states like Alaska, pretty much most of the Northwest, and then there we go. So these are all of the states which Donald Trump has over a 90% chance of winning. The state of Iowa, he also has a very high chance of winning that state, along with South Carolina. So there we go. These remaining states can be considered as states which either party has under a 90% chance of winning. So then we go on to the likely column, which are states where the two parties have a chance of somewhere between 60% to a 90% chance of winning these states. These are states like Minnesota, where I think Kamala Harris likely wins Minnesota by probably about 6 percentage points or 5 percentage points when it's all said and done. She has roughly, I think, about a 70% chance of winning this state. Same thing with the state of, I'm pretty sure I'd also categorize the state of Virginia as well as New Mexico in this category. I think all these polls, which when Biden was the nominee, there were polls which showed these three states within the margin of error, and some of them even had Trump like within 1 point or even winning these states. I don't buy that. I think these states probably go to Harris by about like 6 points, and she has a pretty good chance of winning these states. And now on the Republican side, states like Texas, Florida, and Ohio. These are states which Trump is probably going to win. He has like an 80% chance of winning these states. So, yeah, there we go. Same thing with Maine's second congressional district. So now these remaining states, I'd say Trump and Harris, they have roughly a 60% chance to a 70% chance of winning these states. 70% to 90% was the likely states, but 60% to 70% are the lean states. These are also Nebraska's second congressional district goes into this column. Maine at large goes into this column. Same thing with New Hampshire. These are all states that I think Harris has a probably like about a 60% chance of winning. Same thing with the state of Michigan, mostly because I think Biden, he had a few weaknesses among Michigan voters, particularly among Arab voters and black voters in the Detroit area. Kamala Harris doesn't really have these weaknesses, and most of Biden's struggles in Michigan were roughly a base problem instead of a problem with independent voters. But Kamala Harris is going to be able to get the Democratic base out to vote, especially Arab voters and black voters. So I think Harris wins the state of Michigan. So now these remaining states, North Carolina probably goes to Donald Trump. Again, I think Harris does better here than Biden, mostly because of African American voters. But I still think Trump wins the state overall. Arizona also goes into the lean Republican column, mostly because Kamala Harris has actually been pretty weak with Hispanic voters during her tenure as California Attorney General. So I think Trump wins the state of Arizona. Same thing with the state of Nevada, which I'll actually move down to the tilt column. And the tilt column are states which the two candidates have a 50% to a 60% chance of winning. I'd put Nevada in this column mostly because of how centralized it is around Clark and Washoe County, where I think Democrats have advantages in those two counties, but not as much as they used to, especially in Clark. And I think Trump gains enough in Clark County to win the state of Nevada. Okay, so that puts Republicans at 252 and Democrats at 241. So let's characterize these remaining three states, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. So Pennsylvania, even though Josh Shapiro is likely going to be Kamala Harris's vice presidential pick, although there's no guarantee of this, for now I'll put the state as tilt Republican, mostly because of the fact that Biden had strengths among many of these voters in northeastern Pennsylvania, which Kamala Harris does not have. She doesn't have these strengths among northeastern Pennsylvanian voters. Many of them are from the Scranton area. They're Catholic, they're Irish, they can connect to Joe Biden. They won't have the same connection to Kamala Harris, and she won't be as strong with these voters as Biden was. So I think northeastern Pennsylvania definitely shifts heavily to the right from 2020 to 2024, and that is going to help Trump win the state. Although I do expect Harris to do better in the Philly area than Biden did in terms of getting voters there to turn out. So that already puts Republicans over the 270 votes needed to win, electoral votes. So now we go to the states of Wisconsin and Georgia. So the state of Georgia, I think Trump narrowly wins the state. I think Kamala Harris has a much better chance than Biden of winning the state, largely because of African American voters being more likely to turn out with Harris. But still, I think Trump does have the advantage in the state overall, mostly because of how narrowly Biden won the state in 2020 when there was a global pandemic. And related to that topic, that's another reason why I think Wisconsin is also tilt red, because the national environment in 2020 was just very favorable for Joe Biden. Now, not necessarily the same thing for Kamala Harris. Plus, Wisconsin is a very demographically favorable state for Republicans. There's a huge white working class population in that state, especially in the WOW area, as well as in the WOW counties, as well as the Driftless area of Wisconsin, where I don't think voters will be able to resonate very well with Kamala Harris. And I think Harris, though, is going to do a much better job of getting turnout out in places in such as Dane County and Milwaukee. She's going to do a better job of energizing voters there, but at the same time, she's going to do much worse with the working class, the white working class vote outside of Milwaukee and Madison. So, there we go. Thank you guys for watching this video. This is the actual prediction. So, make sure to like this video down below and subscribe to the channel. Mr. US History, out.